I arrived at my in-laws' place around 4:30 that afternoon. My work van still carried a light scent of coolant and old insulation from the morning's attic job. I'm an HVAC tech with 8 years under my belt, pulling in $40 an hour. Not wealthy, but steady enough that the bills never haunt my sleep. That day was the yearly family portrait session. My wife had sent reminder messages nonstop all week. She really wanted me present. So I wrapped up my final repair early, skipped some pay, and made it there right on schedule. About 20 relatives were gathered on the rear deck. Her folks, brothers and sisters, cousins, the entire group. This time, my mother-in-law had brought in a pro photographer. Apparently, the previous set didn't meet her standards. "Here he comes," my wife announced as I approached. She had on a light beige outfit, hair styled perfectly. She looked stunning. I leaned in to kiss her cheek. "Sorry, traffic on Route 9 was a nightmare," I explained. She eased back a bit. "You reek of your job," I replied. I rushed here directly from a call to make sure I wasn't late. The photographer started positioning everyone. Father-in-law took the middle spot. Mother-in-law right next to him. The children spread along the sides. Little ones up front. I stepped over to stand beside my wife on the left side. That's when she spoke up. "Honey, could you actually move out of the shot?" She said it clearly, so the whole group heard. The photographer froze. Everyone adjusted uncomfortably. Her grin seemed rehearsed, the one she pulls out to downplay tension. "Your expression is bothering folks and spoiling our nice photo." I paused for a moment. I was more shocked that she'd voiced it publicly than by the actual statement. The photographer glanced at his equipment. Tension hung thick. Silence everywhere. I chose not to fight back. No drama, no outburst. I simply backed away from the group, crossed the grass, climbed into my van, and turned the key. While reversing, I could see them all still posed there, motionless. The photographer had dropped his camera. My wife's smile had vanished. I headed home without a sound. No music. No phone calls. Only the steady drone of the motor and my thoughts growing clearer mile after mile. Back at the house, I took an extended shower. Not out of rage. Not smashing anything. Just reflecting. When I finished, my phone had 7 missed calls and plenty of messages from her. They started puzzled. "Where are you?" Then protective. It was meant as a tease. Then irritated. "You're really going to wreck the entire day because of this?" I stayed quiet. Around 7, her sister messaged in a gentler way. "She's been crying nonstop since you drove off. She claims it slipped out wrong. Please reach out to her." I placed the phone screen down, fixed a meal, and ate without hurry. I wasn't unsure about the incident. She had expressed precisely her real feeling. You don't blurt out to your spouse that his appearance upsets people by mistake. That's no accident. That's honesty slipping through at last. That evening she pleaded for me to return. "Please, let's discuss it. I'm truly sorry." I answered. "I'm already home. I'm okay. We can speak tomorrow." I powered off the device and slept soundly, more peacefully than in a long time. The following morning, she sat at the kitchen table still in that same outfit, eyes swollen and raw. "We have to discuss this," she said. I fixed coffee and took a seat. She switched to that gentle tone, the one expecting me to soothe her. I didn't intend it like that. I was tense over the picture. Mom kept mentioning the light. I simply. "What were you actually trying to express?" I asked. She faltered, eyes blinking. "I was thinking perhaps you could clean up a little first. After being out working all day." "That's it. That's not what came out of your mouth," I pointed out. "You said my face makes everyone uneasy. You announced to the whole family that I was spoiling the image?" She burst into tears. Not quiet ones. A full dramatic display. Yet something inside me had changed. No guilt rushed in. I didn't hurry to embrace her. I simply remained seated, sipping my coffee. "What happens next?" she asked through the crying. "You're willing to discard a decade over a single error?" "I'm heading to the job," I said. "We'll continue this tonight. Don't walk away like that." I picked up my keys and departed. The following days followed a routine. Outbursts, weeping, regretful messages, relatives phoning. Her mom left a voice note about how every relationship hits bumps and I ought to step up and forgive. Her sister rang, pleading for me to return and mend things. I kept my composure. Job, workouts, house. I met up with Weston twice that week. Over drinks, he mentioned what a few buddies had already observed. "She's been doing it forever." Subtle remarks. "Treating you like a fixer-upper." I'd overlooked it for far too long. One evening, she prepared a candlelit meal. She sat me down and declared she wanted to improve. "I want to repair our relationship," she said. "I'm sorry, why only now?" I inquired. "Why not earlier?" She had nothing to offer. She claimed she regretted my departure. I said I doubted she regretted the words themselves. I suspected she regretted the fallout. That weekend, I booked time with an attorney simply to learn my choices. I wasn't filing yet. I merely wanted clarity on the situation. Mr. Gill laid out the details. He advised keeping records and limiting contact with her relatives. Information brought a sense of control. The $200 session left me steadier than I'd been in weeks. News traveled. Acquaintances reached out. Relatives did too. A few supported me. Others pressed for forgiveness. Some were stunned she'd say it so openly. Then came the confrontation. One Thursday evening, I returned to find unfamiliar vehicles lining the road. Her parents, sisters, plus a stranger, a Pastor Lawrence from some church we never visit. They gathered me in the living room like a group therapy session. My wife had invited him to mediate. I explained calmly but clearly that my marriage choices aren't decided by a panel. I requested breathing room. I went upstairs, packed a bag, and informed my wife I'd be at Weston's for a while. Weston's place was cramped and cluttered, but calm. We sat outside with beers. My phone kept vibrating. My wife pleading. Her sister offering encouragement. Hazel, the youngest sister, sent a thoughtful note saying she believed my wife's comment was unfair. It carried real weight. That week brought tales from kin, old Thanksgiving jabs, minor insults dismissed as humor. Guys at the pub assured me her actions weren't high standards. They were unkind. The pieces formed a clear picture I'd missed before. Her relatives persisted. My mother-in-law phoned, almost begging. I remained even-tempered. I told them I required space. A week passed. Then I met the lawyer again and signed the separation documents. I assured Mr. Gill I was certain. I was ready to proceed. When I informed my wife, her face went pale. She tried everything. Therapy suggestions. Vows to improve. Future outlines. I heard her out. Then I posed one question. When you made that remark during the photo, were you being honest? She paused, glanced away, and that told me everything. She had meant every word. I sought no payback. No desire to turn it nasty. I simply wanted dignity, and I understood I couldn't remain with someone who viewed me that way. We parted. The division went smoother than anticipated. We separated finances, sold off shared items, split household goods. She stayed with a friend. I leased a modest 2-bedroom on the quieter side of town. Weston, Kenny, Rodriguez, they all pitched in with the move. Pizza and cold ones afterward felt like a modest victory. Life found a fresh pattern. Job, fitness, home. Home carried a new feel. Tranquil, not hollow. Hazel sent occasional family notes. I replied briefly. 3 months on, I crossed paths with my former father-in-law at the local hardware spot. He said he respected how I'd conducted myself. That kind of respect hits deep. 6 months later, I connected with a woman named Morgan through an app. We set up a casual coffee meet. That evening, out on my porch with a drink, I watched the daylight fade. For the first time in ages, I felt truly myself again. Not a work in progress. Not a source of shame. Simply me. Being told your appearance wrecks a photo raises a choice. Do you alter yourself? Or do you seek those who welcome you in the picture? I picked the latter. No regrets. If you read all the way through, think about subscribing. It really supports the channel. I've selected a couple more stories you may enjoy. Tap 1 and catch you in the next one. Take care.